Welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with stories from the Bible. Love and hatred in a family. At the age of 17, Joseph found himself in an odd position. He was both the most loved person in his family and the most hated. His father, Jacob, adored him. Joseph's brothers hated him just because their father loved him best. Jacob's love for Joseph showed in his eyes, and the way they shone when he saw Joseph. Joseph's voice was always very tender when he spoke to Joseph. The final proof of Jacob's love was a special coat he had made for Joseph, a coat of many colors. Joseph's brothers did not receive coats like it. Joseph himself increased his brother's jealousy. He had dreams, which he told his family. In one dream, all of Jacob's sons had been tying up long stalks of wheat. These bundles, called sheaves, were lying in a field waiting to be picked up and stored in the barn. "I dreamed last night," said Joseph to his brothers, "that my sheaf suddenly stood up, and all of your sheaves made a circle around mine and bowed to mine." The older boys understood this dream to mean that someday they would bow to Joseph as someone greater than themselves. This idea made them furious. In another dream, Joseph saw the sun, moon, and the stars bowing to him. This even irritated his loving father a little. Jacob said, "Do you think your mother and I will be in your power? That is who you meant by the sun and the moon, didn't you?" And of course, Joseph's brothers got angry again that he dreamed of them as stars bowing to himself. Now the day came that changed Joseph's life. His brothers had been gone for a while with the family's large herd of goats, grazing them wherever the feeding was good. Jacob said to Joseph, "Find your brothers and bring them back to report on the health of the herds." Joseph left immediately. Finally, he saw his family's herd in the distance. His brothers also saw Joseph coming toward them, and their old anger stirred again. They decided to kill Joseph out in the fields far from home. But one of his brothers, Reuben, did not hate Joseph enough to kill him. He said, "No, my brothers, we do not want his blood on our hands. We only want him out of the family. Therefore, let us put him down a deep hole and leave him there." After a raging argument, the brothers voted that Reuben was right. The hole would be best. The result would be the same for them, but they would not actually kill their brother. Reuben was glad to hear this decision because he planned to come back alone later and rescue Joseph from the hole. When Joseph reached his brothers, all their plans were made. They even found a hole. They tore off the colorful coat that their father had given Joseph. They dumped Joseph into the hole. Pleased with themselves, they sat down to eat. As Joseph's brothers ate, they enjoyed watching the travelers on the road near them. Most people on the road were traders with lines of helpers and camels heading to Egypt. Some of the helpers were slaves. One of the brothers suddenly said, "We can do better with Joseph. As Reuben reminded us, we're all the same flesh. So let us not be responsible for harming him, even indirectly. After all, he may starve there, or a wild animal may attack him. Instead, we will sell him." There were shouts of approval at this brilliant idea. A trader would pay a big sum for a strong slave like Joseph. They would all be innocent of causing Joseph's death. Reuben was sent home at once to get Joseph from the hole. But when Reuben went back to them, white-faced, eyes big, "He's gone. The hole is empty." Bitter at having cheated themselves of a profit, the brothers did not know what had happened. Then they overheard a trader boasting to some others who had stopped to eat. "Today I'm a lucky man," said the trader. "I found a healthy young boy in a hole not far from here. I went through a lot of trouble pulling him out, but it was worth it. I stopped a wealthy merchant with many camels and slaves who was on his way to trade to Egypt. He gave me 20 pieces of silver for the boy." Think of it, 20 pieces of silver, something I just happened to find. I'm going to be honest, when I first read this particular version, I was a little confused because I'd never heard that. All the other versions I read, his brothers were the one who sold him. Anyway, it was time for Joseph's brothers to return home with their goats, and without either Joseph's or 20 pieces of silver. They worried about explaining Joseph's absence to their father. Then one of them remembered Joseph's coat of many colors and told the others his idea. Again, Reuben was sent on an errand. This time he was successful, for he had found Joseph's coat that they had torn off him. When Reuben returned with the coat, the other brothers killed a young goat. Then they tore the coat more and dipped it in the blood of the dead goat. When the brothers reached home, they gave Joseph's bloody, torn coat to Jacob. "This is my Joseph's coat," gasped Jacob. "What has happened to him?" With a solemn face, his son told him Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Jacob cried and cried for Joseph, and no one comforted him. Jacob said, "I will mourn my son Joseph all my life." And that's the end of that story. See you later.